Well, good evening, everyone, and happy Monday. I am delighted to see so many of you joining us for our team call, our connection call, as we come on every Monday night. This is Sharon Rankin, and I'm zooming in from Nashville, Tennessee. 38 years in the business, still loving what I'm doing. People are asking me all the time, are you ready to retire yet? And I said, why would you retire from mission, passion, and purpose? So I'm thankful that you all are joining me in this mission, and your choice to be here says so very, very much. Thank you for joining. And I've seen it over and over through the years. It is vital to stay connected, hence our Monday night calls that really connects us. And I think Zoom makes a great community for connection, for sure. We get to see each other. So each week as we come together as a team, our purpose is to keep our focus on our mission, which is inspiring healthy living around the world. It starts with who you know, it advances with who you meet. It could be in your community or it could be around the world. But we are definitely making a difference. The Mission Possible team is a growing team of inspired individuals, agents for change, dedicated to creating a healthier, more prosperous life for as many as possible. So there's so many good things that we get to talk about. And each time we come together on our weekly calls, these calls are designed for each of us to grow, to get better, to know what's out there. I mean, today and in our leadership call, I learned some things that I'd seen, but it really didn't take hold till I was talking to some other partners. So we need to come together to get clarity on many, many things. So tonight, we want to talk about the resources and the things that we're using to help educate. There's a first step process when we introduce people to Juice Plus, but there's also ongoing education. And we have great resources. So I hope you have pencil and paper. If you're not using some of these, that you'll embrace them as we have. Some of them may be unfamiliar or uncomfortable, even a little uncomfortable if you're not used to it. But these are things that we're all using. I hope we never get too old or too set in our ways to learn new things and to embrace really new things, because that's really what life is about. It's about growth and change. So we want to talk about resources, and we want to talk about what we're using to educate and for continuing education. And so we're just going to have a variety of people sharing tonight. If you're going to share, please be prepared to share. So I'm going to start off with Beth, because she did a talk for us, a Monday night call for us a few months ago on one key resource that we all have at our fingertips and our disposal. So welcome, Beth.
Thank you, Sharon. A few weeks ago or a few months ago, I did what's called a web walk. I think our website is absolutely a gem in our toolbox. It's available. I'm going to share my screen real quickly. I'm not going to take too much time here. But if you look at this, if you look at the website, oh my goodness, it is just full of excellent information for us to share our products, etc., all the way through. If you have not done it yet, I just would take the time to actually go to your juiceplus.com website and just go through what's there. What I do, how I use it, is when someone says, yes, I'm interested in Juice Plus. Of course, there's also there's videos to share. But I always say, would you take some time, 20 minutes with me over the phone, and we can go through our Juice Plus website. It's full of education, information, and gives you a real insight as to what Juice Plus is and how it can make a difference in your life. And they usually say, sure. And so at that point, then we sign and we say, okay, what's a good time for you? We get it down in our calendars. And then I send a reminder, and then I give them a call. And it's really always they're always in awe. Everyone that does it says, wow, I had no idea this was something that was available. So back to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Beth. And again, this is a resource that it's one that we all have at our disposal. So I want to encourage you for sure to be using this. And then I'm going to move over to Sandy Verdon, and we were talking about videos, initial education, initial contacts with people. And Sandy was sharing what one of her favorites are. Welcome, Sandy.
Hi, thanks. Yeah, Bridging the Gap has always been one of my favorites, whether it was the original one that was done years ago, and the new one is even better. And so it is my go-to because it's 11 minutes, and I don't think that that's too long for most people. I mean, I may not send it to a 20-something, but I definitely send it to most of the the rest of the people that I'm talking to, because they can handle 11 minutes. And so I really encourage you, if you're not familiar with the content of that, to check it out.
Hey, thanks, Sandy. And I used it at our most recent Wine and Wellness, a live event that we did here, a live in-home event we did the end of June, and quite a good response from it. I used the 11-minute one, just like you're talking about, and plan to use it at the next one at the end of July. So thank you for sharing. And then there's some other resources that we have been talking about, and one of them is Boards. And it's an app on your phone that you can get. And I've asked Paula to come in and share a little bit about that and what she's excited, and maybe how she's even using it a little bit. So welcome, Paula.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you may have been on our call. I wrote it down. It was June 8th, where we went in depth into the use of boards. So I won't go into all that depth tonight, but you can go back and look at that recording. But I was in a conversation. I had lunch with a customer who was just finishing up her first 4 months of Juice Plus on Thursday. And she had 2 questions. She said, first, can you give me a little more information about what kind of sweetener is in the Complete? Well, I went to my Boards app, pulled that label, that nutrition label up, and it was just like super fast. I knew exactly where to go. I didn't have to think about, now, where is that? What website's it on? It was right in the Boards app. So that was just one really quick example of using Boards. I'm going to go ahead real quick and just share my phone again, if that's all right, just to remind you guys, if you have not had a chance to download that app and begin using it, here's what you do. Give me a sec. All right, are you seeing my phone?
Yes.
All right. So Boards is right in the center of this group of apps that I have. So if you have not downloaded it yet, you just go out to Google Play or to the App Store, and that's what it looks like. It's right there in the middle. And there really are just like 4 things you need to do. Download the app. You'll definitely want to get an account, just like you do with any other app where you need a username and password. And then through that process, you'll need to give the Boards app permission to use your keyboard. And I know there were some concerns after the last call, are there security issues? And I've looked up at that up and down, and I don't think there is any. If you are going to post something like personal credit card information, then yeah, the Boards app could see it. But if you're just using it to transfer information like we are, there's really no risk for that. So the 4th thing then is that we have all the content that we would ever need to share from the Campbell team, which I'm showing you here. All the things below the Campbell team are just some folders, some boards that I created before I even knew the Campbell team was involved. So that link is available in our Voxer group. We can put it there again this evening. But if you haven't gotten the Boards app, it is just so amazing. So I'm going to click on Campbell team, and then I'm just going to pause there because I think there are some other people who want to share real quick what they're doing with Boards. So Sharon, you can guide that, and then I can let them see what they want to share.
Okay, so Cheryl Shapetto, I know you were sharing how it has helped you with some specific information.
Yes, there were some situations. I had a salad party and there were some questions that came up. One about Crohn's disease, and maybe you don't know that much about Crohn's disease. I didn't really. So, but I'm going to do what I really like are the graphics. And so from this page, Paula's going to go around, but see where it says sharing Juice Plus in Tower Garden on the left. If you could click that, Paula, and under social media, they have some beautiful graphics here that are accessible to us. And if you'll go under images, so if you need a tutorial prior to that on how to use them, but these are just the images. And so I like the favorites. I use those a lot. So if you'll click on those, and they're just so fun. They're so colorful. And I use these graphics when I'm reaching out to customers about their product being shipped. And I will use the graphic that is appropriate for the product that they're getting. Or if I'm posting something on social media and I just want a colorful picture, or if I want to use it as my cover photo behind my picture, behind my profile picture on my Facebook page. So there's just some neat graphics there. And then Paula, if you'll go to the other images, these are product specific. So if you're talking to someone, let's say about the Complete, if you go on to the Complete and you'll click right on there, all of these graphics about Complete. So if I'm reaching out to a customer and their Complete product is shipping in the next 2 weeks, I might steal one of these graphics and send that note out. So it just keeps it fresh and I'm not sending the same graphic every single time I reach out to that person. Okay, so that's the images section that I absolutely love. And then going back, Paula, to that main page, down on the bottom right-hand corner, oh, actually, sharing Juice Plus in Tower Garden, same, that's where you're gonna go quite a bit, actually. The bottom right-hand corner, frequently asked questions and specific conditions. So I once had a customer ask me about the sodium content in Complete. And she really restricts her sodium. So she was very concerned about how much sodium was in our Complete. And so I will share with you, I found the answer. So if you go into frequently asked questions and you scroll down to the S's, I was so excited because the app was pretty new, the Boards app, and I'm look at that, sodium in Complete. I'm like, you're kidding me. So there's a link. I listened to it. It was appropriate to send the link to my customer, and she got an answer from a third party, which was better than me answering it, I think. So that was a great resource, and I was pleasantly surprised that the answer was there. And then another one I had that she was asking, she has Crohn's disease. How does Juice Plus affect you if you have Crohn's disease? So if you'll back out of that one, Paula, and go to the specific conditions and interests, and if you go to the C's, there it is, Crohn's disease, and look at all the resources we have. So you could either send them directly to your prospect or customer, or you can learn, we can all learn from all of these different resources and learn about that condition and how Juice Plus can affect it in a positive way.
Hey,
Thank you.
Cheryl, thank you. That's a wealth of information right there. And I love it that it's so easy and it's all one place. And how many times that people don't have a computer with them, can't get into websites, but you can get right into the board. So really cool. So Nancy, I think you had a follow-up to Cheryl's comment.
The more I learn about boards, the more fascinating I find it. And you know how your new partners are oftentimes reluctant to go out and start talking about Juice Plus because they're so afraid someone's going to ask them a question, or even worse, they're not afraid to go out and they just start throwing up every bit of information that they know. And one way or the other, nothing really good happens. Well, if you will educate your new partners on the value of boards and how to best utilize it, that fear factor dissolves. It just is totally eliminated, and they can feel confident to go out and talk to anybody because we have an expert right here on boards, an expert on board, that's going to answer pretty much any question. And as Cheryl said, it's a third-party confirmation. It's not you saying, oh, I know the answer to that. Because when we're team building, the best thing we can do is show people how easy it is to do this business. And I just think boards checks all the boxes as far as that's concerned.
Thanks, Nancy. And then Debbie Tallman, you had a great little experience yourself with boards. So share that.
I sure did. We were on our way home from your house from Wine and Wellness, and I had brought a couple that lived next door, and the gentleman, Bob, while we were at your home, he was very interested in the Tower Garden. So on the way home, he was asking questions and I was answering a few. And I said, you know what? I said, would it be okay if I just sent you a couple of videos? And he goes, sure. And dropped him off, went into the house, popped up my phone, and boom, had everything I needed, was able to send it to him, and he was delighted. And a couple of days later, the information came through on cholesterol, the new research. So I sent one to Kate, his wife, because that's why she was taking the Juice Plus. Sent it to her. She was delighted. And I'm just telling you, I love this app because it's right there at your fingertips, and it's just like, feel like the genie, the magic genie, just bam, it's there. So I encourage everybody to get familiar with this app because, it's so much easier than going to your computer or even looking up other stuff on your phone because it is just right there in one little spot.
And you can easily send it. It's not like
Yes.
you even have to get out of a text message. You can click right at the bottom and the boards pop up and you have all your resources. That was another thing. And I just confess that I was asking Cami to help me to get some things in some videos in my contacts the other day. And she said, well, what about boards? And I went, oh, I forgot about the boards, and so this is why we're talking about this again. You may think you all have talked about this once, but I think we all need a good reminder, a little jolt every once in a while of the resources that we have. So thank you everybody for talking about the boards. And then I know Sally, you were talking about a video or resource that you really enjoyed and like to use. And I think you're muted.
Yes, yeah. Regarding Complete, when I give a sample to someone or a new customer on Complete, I love the video Shake It Up. And I was just noticing it is not, unfortunately, it is not on boards. But it is a video that you can easily put into your contacts to have it accessible easily on your phone as well. But it gives recipes. It's very high energy. If you haven't seen it, I totally recommend. It's on YouTube. And it's just a great video that gives lots of ideas of lots of fun ways to enjoy Complete.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I think along with that, I was sharing two of my favorite continuing education resources or videos. One is the Gene Expression by Dr. Manford, and it's a short little 4-minute video. And if you guys haven't watched that, I clearly remember being in conference. I think we were in St. Louis when that when that piece was released some years ago. This is some years ago, not the most recent one, on gene expression and how Juice Plus literally affects and turns on some 1,600 good genes in our body and turns off some 1,600 bad. And I got cold chills when I saw that. And it's one of my favorite continuing education videos that I use along with the farm to capsule. People love seeing how Juice Plus is made. They love hearing from our farmers and the relationship that we have with those people who are growing our products. I've had very good response to those two things. And I will say too, I saw in our email, and every customer, every partner is getting emails unless there's some chink in the system where you haven't gotten it. If you are not getting emails from the Juice Plus company, you need to let your NMD leader know so that we can help get you, make sure that you're enrolled, or you can reach out to customer support or distributor support. But most recently, we got one this last weekend called Seize the Summer. Does anybody remember seeing that? Now, I asked that in leadership this morning and everybody said, I saw it, but nobody looked at it. I was going to give you this, but I think now that they have. Seize the Summer. And there's a couple of things in there I really want to draw your attention to. If you haven't looked at the email, this is so good for us to pass on to our customers. It's definitely good to use in Project Broadcast or your customer Facebook pages. But there is something called an International Day of Self-Care. And the company did a beautiful graphic with that, highlighted that July the 24th, 7/24, is International Day of Self-Care. And it gave tips and recipes in there. It gave how to hydrate, all kinds of things you could do. So why is it on 7/24? Because good self-care takes place 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, whether you realize it or not. So go in there and check it out. And there was another little piece in that email that went out to all of our customers. And it's like, where are you taking Juice Plus this summer? Whether it's your capsules, your chewables, your bars, your complete, your perform. And they were asking us to hashtag wherever we are and send some pictures. No, bridge wherever. It's kind of like a little bit of a challenge to people. So I would encourage you to go in there, check out your emails, read that, share this with customers, share with other partners who aren't on this call tonight, because I am so impressed with what we're doing right now from the Juice Plus company. The leadership team there, they are working hard. And did you see the announcement today? The chewables are back. Chewables for our Healthy Starts for Family are back. And so we are so excited. We knew that was coming, but they have been working extra hard on resources and manufacturers to get that for us. So you can now have on the Healthy Starts for Families can institute chewables in it. And then one other thing that I think is something that we definitely want to call our attention to is the system. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it tonight, but I'm just going to share my screen. Some of you have heard, and maybe you've heard about Shelly Mackey, who's a 100 Club member, and her system of success, and she calls it the Wheel of Success. And in the Boards app, if you go to the Boards app, the whole training is right there. You don't even have to wonder about it, but every little piece of what she does in her own story is there. But this is a great little graphic that I want to call your attention to for when you're helping somebody new get started. Or maybe if you need to do a restart yourself, you need to set a little challenge for yourself in the next little bit. What can you do? But it really starts with you adding 3 new customers, pretending that you're bending or helping a new person get to that Partner Plus where they get 900 points in 30 days or less. They get the $100 title reward in their first 10 days and $50 if they do it in 30 days, plus their retail sales profit. And then if they decide to go on, you want to help them, they get non-trio orders. And this is so easy. This is a fun graphic that most people can relate to. It's not hard. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I can fill in those little Post-it notes right there with people and get 3 more trio orders. And from my last wellness presentation, I did get 2 new trio orders. It's not that hard if you're out there inviting people and having conversations. And so Shelly Mackey is a fireball in our business, and you might not want to duplicate Shelly, but we can duplicate the system that is being used to help people get off to a successful start. So those are just some of the things that we wanted to share with you all tonight. I don't know, is there anybody else that has a resource that we have that you just love and you're sharing that did not share? I'd be happy for you too. Okay, Paula, go, and then Dr. Margie.
Just real quick, you mentioned Project Broadcast, but I
Yes.
want to just also say I think that is fabulous. It's just a way to add additional value. We want people to know, like, and trust us. And this I have found just to be so helpful in that regard, where you're just really caring about people. So I'm super thankful for that.
And I just want to do a caveat to that on Project Broadcast. When I saw the 7/24 International Day of Self-Care, Cami helped me create a project broadcast that we're sending straight out to everybody, every prospect, every customer, every partner, because I don't think everybody looks at their email. Would you all agree with that? People aren't all, and hence most of us don't always look at every little email, but I know that they're going to pick up their phone and they're going to get a text message and they're going to like, oh, Juice Plus is loving me with a reminder for self-care. So Dr. Margie, what's one of your favorite resources?
The back of my business card that has all of the fruits and vegetables on it. It's the quickest way. I'll just say, so do you get this into your diet every day?
Very good. You're ready to go no matter what. Yes, we have.
I mean, seriously, it is, it's easy. And it's always in my purse or my pocket or my water bottle or my beach bag, wherever I go. It's just like,
And
I made a happy rock while I was at Glacier, and the guy was real interested in it, and I left him a joy rock and a whole rock, and I put my business card with it. So
there you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And let me just say too, one of the things I hear when I'm working with people, coaching people in talking to new people and prospecting and having conversation, they'll say, I've talked to a lot of people, but I can't get anybody to sign up on Juice Plus. Have you ever heard that comment, leaders? Yes, we have. And what I find to be true is we want to talk, but we miss a very key step of connecting people to a resource. Would you be open? Would you be open to a resource if I send it to you, something, a piece of education? And so I just really want to encourage you. It's more than just talking to people. It's connecting people to a resource that makes the difference in their decision to go to the next step. So just want to encourage everybody to think on that as we move forward. And then next week in having conversations, one of the things that we learned at the Anaheim conference from Donald Miller's storyboards, that was one of the most powerful talks and got one of the highest ratings of anything that Juice Plus has done in a very long time. We're going to talk about that next week. So I really want to encourage you guys to be back with us next week. Invite other members from your team to join us. We're going to talk about how do you talk to new people when somebody asks you, what do you do? How do you respond? Usually you stammer, you talk too much, you don't really say much. And then they say we have about 8 seconds, guys, in this culture today to capture someone's attention. So we're going to talk about how do we do that and have some fun while we're sharing Juice Plus and inviting people into our story. So be with us next week. Let's make July a great month. It's still early on to finish strong with your month. So have a good week. Thank you, everybody, for sharing.
All right.
Thank you, Sharon.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
All right, thanks, Sharon.